with my man Travis.
We must also act to protect those we love. Parents install alarms to warn if their household is threatened by smoke or carbon monoxide. We should also install protections against spiritual threats. Protections like filters on internet connections and locating access so others can see what is being viewed.
Travis Wayne Goodsell. Before we get to the pop quiz for Mormons, show how much they don't know the Book of Mormon, and we'll allow David Todd Christofferson to show up to work today and realize that he's got some videos to get caught up on. I got a score to settle with you, David. Let you watch those videos first. You're responsible for my brother. Nobody messes with my brother. You don't know because you didn't bother to do your research on me about those who mess with my brother. I don't even think Todd knows unless Tiffany told him, and she most likely told him. But he never thanked me. So back in high school, Brother was in the grade below me and was being picked on and bullied by the white supremacist Christian nationalist born-again peers. And word got back to me that was being done. Word got out on all the campus. They waited until after I graduated to resume bullying and picking on them. I didn't have to throw a single punch. The fear of me was enough to scare everybody. And it could have been from that one incident in the basketball game. Back then, we had to have police escort to our basketball games. North High School had a tower with armed guards on it. And we beat them. We beat them. They always beat us. We beat them. Oops. So yeah, on the bus this morning, I saw a young lady get on who reminded me of a past failed relationship. Pretty much every woman triggers a memory of a past failed relationship. Obviously. And she had multiple sclerosis. And so she was a cute young lady, all smiles, all clean, and it triggered the memory of a co-worker back in the early 2000s who said she was a direct descendant of Brigham Young's first wife. And the divorce would not be completed yet, as I would have nothing to do with it, so I didn't wait. Apparently they can do that in Canada. They don't need me. And then America or Utah will throw you under the bus, not protect their own. But that's another story. That led up to David Todd Christofferson in 2008. But she obviously had a crush on me, couldn't do anything about it. I'm still technically married. I don't do the Mormon excuse. Oh my God, I saw a video yesterday on another website. Oh my God. Mormons, you are, oh dear God, Mormons. What is wrong with you? What, oh my God. I don't even think I can talk about it. The depravity of Mormons is just so disgusting. Oh my hell. Seriously, dear God, you're not reading your Book of Mormon, obviously. Oh my hell. Oh my God. Dear God. See, I'd heard about it through Exmo-Lex, but I didn't know of the extension Censor. Not Exmo-Lex doing it. She's doing the video about it. I heard the updated version yesterday. Oh my hell, Mormons. Dear God. I mean, oh my God. Yeah. We're in the latter days. Mormons are ripe for destruction. That was made very obvious to me yesterday. Oh my hell. There's nobody going to qualify for Zion. Dear God. We're all doomed. And so there's nothing I can do about it. Nothing I would let her do anything about. I needed time away. And I would eventually get transferred to another building at their warehouse and worked there for a while, and then eventually would get transferred back to the same original building. And so one morning, I am going up the stairs, and I see her coming down the stairs. She has MS now. I saw her young, vibrant, active, and now she's got MS. Don't dare cry in front of her. Don't dare say anything about it. Just say hi, good morning. And I guess, yeah, it's a symbol of that video about Mormons yesterday, about how you've fallen, but it's a false equivalency. And a red herring. But, yeah, a cute lady on the bus this morning triggered that memory of all the wounded Mormons limping to Zion. You know, the innocent ones are going to make me just break down. But Mormons don't want to go to Zion, so I don't think that's going to happen. So, sucks to be everybody. Mass extermination, theft of money, and coup of government. Threefold mission of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints with the FIXER. You got caught up yet? David Todd Christofferson, the FIXER for Jesus. And in case you're not one who gets involved with what the wisdom of the world is so that you can be as wise as a serpent but innocent as a lamb, as the Doctrine and Covenants tells us to be. So you don't watch R-rated movies, you don't watch the news. So learn about Michael Cohen, the FIXER for Trump. Dear God. Don't even get me started. I'm already grumpy. Don't even go there with me. Not in the mood today. David has pissed me off. Dear God. Oh my God. So, I'm not wanting to continue with 24. I already know what's coming, and it's just going to break my heart with Audrey. What I watched it for, it was fulfilled. I got to the airport. That was what I wanted to get to. And so some other stuff that coincides with what's going on right now, tied everything together. So I don't think I've told you guys about my reason for watching 24, why I obtained the collection. And yes, a failed relationship. And yes, back from the 2000s. Right before David Todd Christofferson, the Nazi FIXER for the Jesus. Dear God, you bastard. But yeah, a FIXER is the one who commits the crimes as a lawyer, as a front. So yeah, Strengthening Church Members Committee, the FIXER for Jesus. And it obviously means the church isn't true. but to claim that he's the judge of true doctrine for the church. You ready for your pop quiz yet, Mormons? If you've been following me for a while, you know I'm inspired. I've been talking about this. Today we get to be specific about it. So, after the first left, stole the children, fled the country, got the church to help her. I had plenty of time after redoing my research on Paleo-Hebrew that she stole and destroyed to go to the temple. Went every day doing something. Got involved on January 2000, January 1st, New Year's. Mom was working at the computer. She was doing genealogy cards, genealogy work, checking the cards. She would eventually find that Jacob, whose new name was Israel, did not have his name done. His temple work was not done. Oops. Did you know that, Nelson? You know all about the gathering. God didn't prevail for that. So yeah, she had to return it to the temple. Everybody got a good laugh out of it. My mom should have just kept it, framed it. Hilarious. But yeah, I wanted to do that, and so I had to buy the second computer after my dad's cyber terrorist attack using NetNanny. Dear God, Christians need to just burn in hell. I mean, seriously, dear God, guys. Striper, listen to the lyrics, Christians. To hell with Christians. It's the devil. But if you're going to follow his doctrines, you can't claim as Jesus. He was Jewish, by the way. Jewish doctrines about the Jewish Christ. Jesus was prophesying about the Jewish Christ. He even tells Lucifer that when he's in the top of the mountains of Utah. Don't worship me, worship the coming Jewish Christ in Utah on the 23rd of September, 2017. Him only shalt thou worship. A man like Moses. Hello, do I need to do pop quizzes for Christians too? Dear God. 10 Commandments, that was in the news. Texas got denied. So, the temple workers knew me. I knew them, going every single day to the temple. And so I know the text for all of the baptism, initiatories, endowment. I know it all. Many of them thought I was an ordinance worker doing my spare time in the temple. And doing my own family names. And one of them was so impressed that a young man in the church has Dear God. When the Nazi branch president of the older singles ward kicked me out for going back to the family ward, taking away my temple recommend, that crushed the temple worker out front that morning. He knew me every single day, and when my temple recommend got flagged because of that branch president Nazi, just because I went back to the family ward and said, to hell with the women. Who then, oh my hell, they mocked me. A group of them came over to my house. My sister answered the upstairs door because I didn't bother to go to my door. And gave her a bag of Snickers to give to me. So my baby sister, 17 years younger than I am, came down and, ooh, all these girls, they gave you Snickers. And so she's too young. She hasn't gone to Rick's College yet, where girls would get candy bars and ask guys out on dates to the Morp and all that stuff. So she didn't understand that it's code language of Mormon women. They're snickering at me because I'm no longer going to the singles ward. They thought it would be funny. So my baby sister didn't understand that. So she was kind of upset with me when I said they're Snickers. Which, yeah, I need Snickers when I have the seizures. Peanut butter is a good quick rush, and so yeah, Snickers. Not just for the celebrities who change into horrible, awful people. I mean, horrible, awful people that change into celebrities? Or if you remember any of those commercials back in the analog days. And there may have been some in the digital, but David Todd Christofferson happened. So, another temple worker before this incident wanted to set me up with his daughter. I don't do that. I don't do blind dates. Don't you dare set me up. Especially if you're a female, single, available, legal, and alive. Don't be setting me up with other women when you're right there. Don't do that. That was the younger singles ward's problem. Come join me at our table. Oh, okay. And I sit down, and then she goes and finds another seat elsewhere. God, it's pissed me off. Bad day, and this isn't helping. No Mountain Dew. Because this, it gives me the headaches from caffeine. Mountain Dew doesn't. This does. Mountain Dew doesn't. It's the dew of the gods. And so he says, hey, there's a new TV show starting called 24. Why don't you come over to my house? I got a massive big screen TV. So, all right, whatever. He didn't tell me he had a daughter. He's an older man. I'm assuming that if he has a daughter, she's married and has kids. Let alone other family members who, yes, did have families. And so I'm thinking he's a grandpa, and he is. So I'm not thinking that he's going to be setting me up with his daughter. Because, yeah, under the outward appearance of Mormonism, I'm the perfect guy for his daughter. Judging by the outward appearance. Don't even get me started with the video yesterday. Oh, God, that was so disturbing. And that little girl talking about it, oh my hell. It was like she was not fazed. She thought it was funny. Oh, those Mormons. They think they're so good and righteous. I was barfing, puking out lungs and organs. It was horrifying. What the bleep is wrong with Mormons? Dear God. And I know that stuff was going on when I was in the younger singles ward, because the bishop got up at fast and testimony meeting to prevent them from getting up. And spent the majority of the time going over a list of masturbation types. I knew none of it. I knew none of it until he got to Pearl Necklace, and I went, wait a minute, that's a ZZ Top song. They don't teach sex ed in the church. I didn't dare ask my born-again Christian nationalist white supremacist peers. I'm supposed to know, and therefore laugh at their jokes about raping women. So no. So you probably now know what the video is about. And I found Kimball condemning some of the other sexual practices of Mormons. Kimball doing my reviews of great classics of General Conference. Kimball is already talking about the sexual deviance of Mormons that he himself was a big factor in causing. And so I go over to his house expecting to watch TV. And I sit down. Yeah, it's a massive screen. I don't fully understand why you'd want something that big, unless it's for a massive audience, like a movie theater. It's his living room. Doesn't need to be that big. But then he takes off, leaves me there to watch it alone. I'm going, okay, this is awkward. This is worse than being the third wheel on a date. Which, yes, don't even get me started on that. My dream about Hinckley already had that in my programming. Oh, dear God. And so, yeah, I would then find out, oh, you're setting me up with your daughter, who's, wow, oh my God, wow, why aren't you married? Wow. Wow. Sucks to be in my position then, because I clearly wasn't good enough for her, as that was a failure. But 24. And so when I got out and got to West Valley City, made sure I obtained the 24 collection with the accompanying movie. So, wow. So many outward appearances of beauty, and so much inward of the whitewashing sepulchres. Okay. Pop quiz, Mormons. if a religious leader who demands that you pay him and then tells you that you now owe him because of your extortion to him to go out and commit a crime for him. Are you not ready yet, David Todd Christofferson? I know you still have 30 more minutes until you get to work, unless you do some temple work, but you can't because the temple's still closed. As Nelson would occasionally do some work before starting work. How would I know that? Remember the 3 times that I was standing face to face with Lucifer himself, looking him straight in the eyes, and he was upset with me that he failed to murder me? Yeah, that's on you, David Todd Christofferson. Mr. I took down Nixon. With Deep Throat. Who's now the fixer for Jesus. Just telling Trump that alone, oh, you're in big trouble. Big trouble. Nobody messes with Trump's superhero. And the other guy who loved Nixon so much, he put his face tattooed on his back. These are the kinds of peers I grew up with. What a nightmare. And so he says, go and commit this crime against this other person. Go and murder this other person. Go and destroy this person's life. You're a religious leader, or he's a religious leader. You have to pay him. And now he's telling you to commit crimes because he ordered it. And says if you don't do it or you fail, you are going to be destroyed. What do? Pop quiz, Mormons. Okay. How about an extra credit question? What is that called in the Book of Mormon? I gave you advanced warning. Order of NEHOR. That's what the church is. Alma chapter 1, starting in verse 12. Alma said unto him, behold, this is the first time that priestcraft has been introduced among this people. They had tithing. You mean it's not priestcraft? Offerings? Not priestcraft? You mean the law of Moses is not about priestcraft? You're Mormon, you have the Book of Mormon, and yet you know nothing of Mormonism? Those who have left the church, yeah, it's understandable if they don't know Mormonism fully. They only know their experiences of being a Mormon. The church lied to them about Joseph Smith, and they believed the lie, and therefore they left the church because that was just awful. And yet it's Brigham Young who was practicing it, and they were justifying Joseph Smith as our founding prophet. It's so true. Joseph Smith was an adulterer. He's a living prophet. We are adulterers. But the scriptures condemn adultery numerous times all over the place. No, Joseph, it's okay if Jesus tells you to do it. I don't see anywhere. In fact, Jesus even says not to do it. What do you mean Joseph Smith was an adulterer and the church is true, therefore? So yes, 15 million Mormons left. And yet, yeah, the Mormons who remain want to do it. All that Joseph Smith was falsely framed and blamed for, the current Mormons want to be it, to do it. I've seen your comments. I've seen the way you treat me. I've seen the way you treat others. I watched that video. Oh my hell. There is no salvation for Mormons. I have lost all hope. There is no Zion. We're all doomed. Dear God. But thou art not only guilty of priestcraft, but hast endeavored to enforce it by the sword. Threats of violence, crime, and death. Enter in FIXER for Jesus, David, Todd, Christofferson, the Strengthening Church Members Committee. So then they explain the law given by Mosiah, who's Moses, Yah in Hebrew. And his name was NEHOR. And they took him to Manti and forced him to confess. It's just, why? Why? Seriously. And he suffered an ignominious death. And thus put an end to the spreading of priestcraft through the land. For there were many who loved the vain things of the world. And they went forth preaching false doctrines. As the fixer for Jesus, he's supposed to be judging false doctrines. And yet he's judging true doctrines and claiming they're false. You didn't get the right feeling, you're wrong. And so yes, what David Todd Christofferson has been doing since 2008 has been criminal. As somebody who was educated in the law, graduated in the law, with degrees, passed the bar, and was licensed and experienced. And yet, he's now a fixer for Jesus, for which, if the law was just, he would lose his license and be removed from the bar, not just locked up in prison for the rest of his few days left. This is how evil this church is. And for Mormons to be upset with me, to disagree and not want to hear, see, touch, taste, smell evil, there's some more monkeys added. Didn't you know? Yes, I checked up what Chinese year he was born in. And so it was still the monkey year before it turned to the next one. Thus the pictures. I'm the year of the dog. You ain't nothing but a hound dog. Leela was so cute. I like the live version. That was nice. With the extra stuff in it. That was cool. And so, yeah, for lying, apparently they didn't understand that you can actually punish a person for lying. Because it leads to violence. You got to stop it immediately. When somebody says, I'm going to murder you, and then they go, oh, you can't arrest me, it's free speech. I have the right to tell you I'm going to murder you. I have the right to tell you I'm a terrorist. I'm going to blow up buildings. Right, David Todd Christofferson? And so, yes, the Strengthening Church Members Committee is the order of NEHOR, the enforcers, the fixers for this church. And so now, knowing this information, I can tie him to everything that's been done to me since 2008. And so the second ex, yeah, Christofferson, had her leave me. My Adam fell that man might be video. Christofferson. Do you know about that? My bishop, West Valley. He doesn't watch YouTube. He said he didn't watch YouTube. He was told by a phone call from Christofferson to have my video on Adam fell taken down because it goes against the, that's quote from Oaks from the Deseret News. Just popped into my head yesterday. And still got it on my mind. From The Muppet Show. We're going to put that in the description below for you, even though that may or may not be the theme song. Muppets. Copacabana. That was a brilliant performance by Manuel on that show. Yeah, I relate to him because of his problems with women, too. Elder Oaks explains. Local leaders are informed by church headquarters, Strengthening Church Members Committee, about members who may possibly be violating church standards. Adam fell, from the Book of Mormon. How it's so true from ancient Egyptian documents. Let that. Oops. You almost got it out of me. You already want to do it, just do it. Seriously. The church is going to punish you for it anyway. Why are you playing all these games? You're sick, perverted, twisted people. Just do it and get it over with. Go away. God. The Church Strengthening Church Members Committee pores over newspapers and Travis's publications. The Deseret News articles that Deseret News. Oh my hell. You were responsible for that too. It just hit me. When I got out, got myself a computer, and was checking the Deseret News again, I went looking for my original comments on certain articles. They were gone. That's why. And I'm sitting there arguing with the woman on a chat about how my comments are gone. Only the ones who commented on my comment remain. And so the one of them that I commented was about how Hubble is not the inventor of the Big Bang Theory. And the guy, dumbass, comments, "Why do you think it's called the Hubble telescope?" Non sequitur. Oh. Not quite a false equivalency. It has nothing to do with it. It was a Catholic priest who created out of nothing, creatio ex nihilo, the Big Bang. And it's all right there in the Book of Mormon for you. Core! That could have been the other pop quiz for you. The wisdom of the world. False, anti-science claims. False doctrines. And everybody should know this. Why is the Big Bang false? Even Christians should have caught on to this, despite the errors of translation of Genesis chapter 1, which is what led up to it. Dumbass Darwin and his other theories, but the same thing. Darwin, the Book of Mormon condemns Darwin before he published, so that Mormons of Joseph Smith's new church, when they hear firsthand from Darwin's books, Origin of the Species and Natural Selection, the Theory of Evolution, with the extension of evolutionary theory. It's all wrong. How, Mormons, Christians, if you're listening? How? Don't just say, well, it's Jesus. No! Science! The vegetation theory. David Hume, Dialogues Concerning Natural Religion. Vegetation theory is established eternal law because it is confirmed every single test run for multi-millennia and multi-millennia to come. It is always going to be confirmed with a test. Every time you take a seed and you plant it, you just confirm the vegetation theory. Every time, oh my God, just do it. Just don't even tell me about it, just do it. Go confess to your bishop that you did it. Oh my God. Because it's not just the original one that Exmal talked about. No, it's the advanced one that the girl talked about yesterday. No. Oh my God, no. Anybody dares try that in Zion, you're out. Don't even bother coming to Zion if you want to do that. Dear God. If you are not willing to be in a committed relationship, get out. Oh my hell. I just getting sidetracked. Dealing with a headache. Being reminded all of the failed relationships. Oh my God. And so NEHOR was preaching natural selection, the survival of the fittest, origin of the species, the evolutionary theory, all of that in the Book of Mormon. Mormons should have known and should have been able to step forward and say, no, vegetation theory. Even the Mormons from England, from David Hume, they knew about it. I did the research on that. Yeah, the early Mormons joined the church because of David Hume. They saw in Alma chapter 32 after NEHOR. There's a reason why NEHOR was first, and then he died. And then Alma with the Zoramites. You dumbasses worshiping Jesus in a Jewish synagogue, getting kicked out for your poverty. Science! The vegetation theory. And you seriously, as a Mormon, who tells everybody the Book of Mormon is so true because you feel it, and you don't even know this? I mean, it was bad enough in the older singles ward with a woman who was working in the church history department at BYU. She's retired, right? I'm not going to be getting her in trouble. She's already in hot water being single. But nonetheless, I told her that they were unemployed after building the buildings. And it never occurred to her. It never occurs to any Mormon that Nephi wasn't born when Lehi left. And all the videos, all the books for kids, picture books, all of it, all of them say Joseph or Nephi went with his family. No, read it again, you illiterates. Dear God, Mormons just sit in class and are told what to believe and don't even bother to check. And so these prophets are able to manipulate you. I mean, seriously, the recent one about section 120, and you're not even going to read it, are you? You're just listening? I caught both Anderson and Oakes lying at the pulpit of conference, saying that section 120 proves that we as apostles can touch tithing. Because it says right in 120, and nobody checks. It's the Lord's storehouse. The bishop's storehouse is charity, and that's your own funds. But the Lord's storehouse, section 120 says we're in charge of it. No 12 apostles. Oops. Oops. And yet Mormons are upset with me for what they are illiterate about, for what they are purposely evil about. And so when these guys lie to you and they threaten you to commit crimes because you've made a temple covenant and promise under the penalty of death to obey them, you just cave and you lose your honor and integrity. Whereas 15 million of you at least left, even though you still don't know the truth, you at least left because of the, oh my God, of this church. So Adam fell. You guys really not know those scriptures? Both Joseph Smith and the Book of Mormon talk about it. It's in 2 Nephi chapter 2, right? Adam fell, man died. Only one. 2 Nephi 2:25, right before they talk about Joseph Smith. And so, yeah, as a kid, I've told you this story several times over the years. Yeah, as a kid, we're taught from the Book of Mormon about the prophecy of Joseph Smith in the Book of Mormon, 2 Nephi chapter 3. Joseph Smith was prophesied in the Book of Mormon? Wow. So cool. Am I prophesied in the Book of Mormon? I don't know. Oh, there's an index. Travis, no, not in the Book of Mormon. Maybe I'm in the Bible. No, I'm not prophesied. Those of you who have been following and you're believers, you know I'm verse 5 and 9 in chapter 3. As well as all over the place. Here I was as a kid, all bummed because I'm not prophesied. And yet, I'm everywhere. And so, verse 25. Pay attention to who's missing. Women. As everybody knows, the Abrahamic religions are extremely patriarchally abusive towards women. Extremely. You've got Islam even enforcing the laws of their false doctrines on priestcraft with the sword upon women for violations of wearing the hijab. Adam fell that man might be. Men are that they might have joy. What joy? They're not able to have kids. Now they're able to have kids. Now they can have joy. Is it the kids or is it the making of the kids? Yep, bingo. Making of the kids is joy. Once they're born, you get rid of them. Go back to making joy. And if her name happens to be Joy, added bonus. Yeah, Eve is missing. Eve didn't fall. The Book of Mormon makes that clear all over the place. She did come with Adam. That's in the Book of Mormon. But the Book of Mormon says it was Adam's fault, not Eve's. So what about Paul? The author of Paul, letters of Paul. Women need to keep silence in church. I agree with this one. The glory of a woman is her long, flowing, wavy hair. Oh my God. And if it's red, oh my God. You got me. I'm yours. I am your slave. Please don't abuse me. I've been hurt before. I've been burned before. So, yeah, no Eve. So, Doctrine and Covenants, Joseph Smith, section 29, verses 36 and 40. And it came to pass that Adam, pay attention, who's missing, being tempted of the devil, well, that obviously is Eve, Travis, because her name is Shirley. You don't know that one? The devil is abroad in the land, and her name is Shirley. I can make up my own scripture interpretation by taking things out of context and changing definitions. For behold, the devil was before Adam. For he rebelled against me, saying, give me thine honor, blah, 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 40. Wherefore it came to pass that the devil tempted Adam, and he partook. No dot, dot, dots. Adam fell that man might be. Men are that they might have orgasm. Joy. Partook of the forbidden fruit and transgressed the commandment, wherein he became subject to the will of the devil, because he yielded unto temptation. And so he was cast out of the Garden of Eden. So what about Eve? They never tell you. She chose to keep the commandment and go with him. And so it wasn't a fall like Adam's was. This may be complicated doctrine for you to understand. But it's not literal history either. It is obeying the voice and fulfilling the consequences in the flesh to know it's true. You don't know anything if you just got a spiritual witness feeling. You know nothing. You've got a blueprint in your head, but it means nothing until you actually make it in the flesh. The building must be built, otherwise the blueprint is worthless. The seed is worthless unless you produce the fruit. So, you have to be told to go with Adam and obey. And I use the story as the symbolism with the inspiration that you're supposed to be getting from it. So you shouldn't listen to the devil and fall. You should listen to the true spirit, the true word. Eve did, Adam didn't. So if I were to write my version of this, that would be included. So if you come to Zion, it will be included. Nonetheless, nobody wants Zion. So, criticizing leadership. That's what David Todd Christofferson did. Travis is criticizing leadership because the leadership says that Eve fell. Women are to blame. And I went, nope, I found in the Egyptian documents that the Book of Mormon says it came from the Egyptian documents that Adam fell. And David Todd Christofferson called my bishop and said, destroy Travis. Shut down his YouTube channel. He's getting too popular. Yeah, July 2017, got 40,000. They were trying all kinds of ways to shut me down since then. That was right after the July 2017 video. So yeah, he was going over my videos then, he's going over them now. Not just my published books on Amazon. Seriously? That's why I got all the royalties, was because you were buying them all? What did you do with them? Are they in some kind of filing cabinet there at the church administration building? My whole collection. Did you even get the car, whatever you call them, the fish, you know, Darwin and the other fish things? Did you get that book too? The temple porn? Did you get that one too? Ooh, you're a naughty boy, David. Or did you just get him through Kindle? There were a bunch of them. Oh dear God, don't even get me started. Amazon. You have to have PDF for ancient languages for the Kindles. I learned the hard way on that one. Oh dear God, I spent the whole day going through and deleting the Kindle versions. Oh, what a nightmare. God. Yeah, it doesn't show. It transfers them back into numbers and generic letters. Oh dear God, what a nightmare. Almost as bad as, oh my God, don't even get me started. It's bad enough that all of this stuff was new to me, and I'm having to learn it as I go. Oh dear God. So, I mean, yeah, the Book of Mormon, guys, I mean, seriously, you had such a superior advantage over the whole world. The whole world that fell into darkness, and that the Catholic Church was murdering the new emerging scientists to try to keep them in the dark ages. And yet, dear God, you just made it worse. So yeah, being in West Valley City, oh my hell. The attacks, being there after suing the church. It's in the public record. You know that, David, don't you? It's still out there. All my filings are now on the public record. People have to pay for it to get it, but still. The whole world knows. Russia knows. They were following me back then, by the way, in case you didn't know. In case you missed those videos where I talked about it. Russia knows my information. They have been doing their research, and yeah, they've been doing a pretty poor job of their research, but nonetheless, I don't know if they've been thrown out of a third-story window or while on a plane caused radio interference to try to crash it. in the news. The leader of the EU, Putin, tried to murder her, assassinate her. Are you listening, Trump? The church paid Putin. And oh, you got a new plane, do you? From who? And who are they in bed with, too? There are multiple ways that they're going to be trying to murder you, Trump. I'm trying to warn you, and you're not listening. Take the church out first. Get it done and over with quickly. Then you can go and get assassinated. I don't care, as long as you take out the church first. Dear God. But, oh, man. The Deseret News. The second one was on R-rated movies. Because I reminded the Mormon audience that Benson didn't put a period after don't watch R-rated movies. He kept going. There's more to it. He also included Article of Faith number 13 at the end of his talk. Everybody missed that part. They were all thinking about, oh, dear God, I saw an R-rated movie last week. I didn't know it was not supposed to be watched. Well, I can't watch it anymore. Oh, there's a new one coming out that I really wanted to watch, and again, another woman in the Elders Ingalls ward. An evil career woman, educated, not married, barefoot, pregnant in the kitchen where she belongs. Had done her study on Amistad, the whole slave trade from Africa to the Americas by Britain. She knew all about that. She knew of the horrifying treatment of blacks. And so, yeah, when Amistad was announced to come out into the theaters, she was all excited. You know, this is her career field, this is her movie, it's, you know, what she wants to watch. And she should. And yet, she's Mormon. Threatened by the church not to watch an idol god. You don't judge a movie by its rating. That's idol worship. You judge a movie by its content. You know, the words from Scripture. Words. And yet, she wouldn't watch it. She thought she was being a good girl by not watching it, even though it crushed her. That she was making the sacrifice to obey Jesus and didn't watch Amistad. And it will be Scripture that everybody will know about in history, even though Trump most likely took it out of the Smithsonian. Dear God, come on. Dear God. That's my family history, too. The slave girl that my slave ancestor raped, her family line came from West Africa. And so Amistad is my family history. Dear God. And just have other people tell me my family history doesn't exist. Bleep you. So yeah, it's just Mormons never bothered to read the conference talks. They just heard it. And when he said, don't watch R-rated movies, and if you've ever listened to Benson, he says a word, and then there's a long pause, and then he says another word, and he screws it up. Long pause, and he corrects himself. Long pause. His talks are 20 minutes, but if he were to actually speak them without his problems, it'd be 5 minutes. And so, yeah, my financial troubles, David again. And so, yeah, oh dear God, they were trying to murder me in West Valley. Dear God, just people willing to commit crimes against me, people willing to assassinate me, all because David Todd Christofferson put out the call, get 'em, and Mormons obeyed. Dear God. And so, yeah, Gail Miller's concentration camp of hell of human trafficking, yeah, the church set that all up for me. And then they tried to murder me yet again there. Bastards. And so, getting into this place, yeah, like I said, 2 women were fired because they failed the orders of David Todd Christofferson, who told them, keep them there. Don't let him get an apartment. He's responsible. And yes, Nelson and Oakes supported that as the ones who were putting him in the position to do this. But he's the one who likewise does it to other Mormons. Nelson and Oakes threaten him to commit crimes against all Mormons and specifically me. Then he goes and orders other Mormons to commit crimes and murder against other Mormons. This is RICO. It's a crime organization. Bleeping government, letting Trump get assassinated before he can take them out. And so, yes, my brother. Been telling you lately, my brother works for the church in the church office building. David Todd Christofferson. Get him, Todd. He doesn't watch YouTube. He doesn't even have Facebook. He did what mommy did. And had a Facebook channel only to say, we're not on Facebook. We don't do anything with it. But my brother is on LinkedIn. And thus is a public figure. And David Todd Christofferson said, your brother has videos. Get him. Destroy him. Yeah, you're welcome for saving your life in high school, you bastard. Mommy's now dead, and there's David Todd Christofferson ordering my brother to get me and destroy me after I just barely got this new place. The 2 girls got fired, and now he's going after somebody else to get me. And so he has to pay $2,000. David's not fronting him the money to do it. You have to pay. You have to sacrifice your life. And so my brother did it. He's an obedient boy. Like I told you in the videos previously, he's the one who would be a Nazi of the SS, of the Gestapo, torturing and abusing other people, just like David Todd Christofferson. He has no clue what he's doing. He was valedictorian in both high school and at BYU. And he's dumb as a rock. He just memorized and regurgitates what he memorized. That's why the pop quizzes were designed as they were designed. Mormons only remember and regurgitate what they're told sitting in classes and shutting up because they don't want to be on anybody's cell phone on YouTube. And so my brother is not smart enough to recognize what he is doing to me and what David ordered him to do, threatening him to be fired and excommunicated if he doesn't do it. That it's the order of NEHOR. He knows his Book of Mormon stories. He thinks that Nephi went with Lehi and his family. But he knows nothing about what the Book of Mormon is teaching. I mean, just to tell people the Book of Mormon is a tragedy. Everybody dies. Is shocking for Mormons. It never occurred to them. These are things that memorizing and regurgitation does not teach you. You don't know how to learn. You only know how to be a contestant on Jeopardy with Ken Jennings. That's it. And so that's our public school system. They teach memorization and regurgitation. That's it. You graduate from college with the same educational system. You go out into the job market. Not now, but before. And you don't know how to do a job, so you got to start at the bottom. Because you weren't involved in any kind of apprenticeship, any kind of trade, for which you learn as you go. You're in the field learning. An apprentice and a master. There's only one apprentice or master. And so, yes, my brother is dumb. He's socially inept. And I don't see him married still. A year and a half younger than I am, where I've had failures. Well, I guess it's better to have loved and lost than to never loved at all. Try it. Men in Black, Part 2. Part 2. And so, yeah, the lawyer, also dense, tells me this, that the church threatened to fire him if he didn't commit crimes against me. So yeah, it was an easy response. Never heard from them again. Todd loses $2,000 for his failure. And so the Amazon publishing getting sabotaged. Yep, David Todd Christofferson. Like I said, he's been stalking me. He knows about the birth of Jesus. Yep, there's a Mormon that works there who reviews books for submission. Him. David got to him. The website I had until the day after I sued the church. We're coming up on that anniversary. David. This was a little more devious. They owned stock in another company and had that company buy out my website to then order the new owners to shut me down. All to shut me up and silence me because of the information I have that they're threatened and scared of. If you hadn't caught on yet. And then all the cyber terrorism. Google, Windows, Microsoft, YouTube. On my computer, on the sites, searching, on the YouTube, all of cyber terrorism. On the apps and the programs that I have on my computer not associated with the internet. The internet cyber terrorist attacks. Tampering with those. The Windows, Word. Remember when the colors weren't working? Yep, David Todd Christofferson. Because some of the pictures I was recently putting out before then were criminal, preaching false doctrine, criticizing leadership, or other problems. Well, if you're the true church, you have nothing to fear from the enemy. You're protected as a religion if you're really a religion. And yet, because you're not, and because you're criminal, you're beam and moding, projecting, and thus you have to enforce your false doctrines with crimes, threats, and violence. Order of NEHOR. Because I'm not going to stay active in the church that's abusing me. Bleep you. I got the receipt that you yourself signed. Bleep you. You owe me restitution for damages. And you know that that also includes the emotional duress. And you know what you and this church have done to me can never be repaired fully. Even if you handed over the church as you're required to me, with all of its assets, even the ones you're trying to hide, it's still not enough. Because there's some sentimental value that can never be restored. You have caused severe damage that is irreparable. And yet you are teaching these Mormons to emulate you. And so, yeah, it's one thing for Mormons when they hear about Chad Daybell to throw Chad under the bus. Now, he's not one of us. We don't do that. Yeah, you do. Yes, you do. You already have it in your heart to do it. And if you haven't been doing it yet, you haven't been involved in my life to have David give you the call. Because once he gives you the call, that's where your true character is exposed. And then you show that you have no honor, no integrity for the truth. You are of the order of NEHOR. So, let's wrap it up with some stuff in the news. University of Utah Community and Cultural Engagement. I got this from an email. Since Trump banned DEI, the U of U had to stop the Black Cultural Center, and so they replaced it with Community and Cultural Engagement. DEI is unconstitutional because it violates the 14th Amendment, Section 1, which was already violated for blacks in the first place. Blacks tried to do this DEI approach to violate the Constitution, to counter the violations of the Constitution for them. You don't fight criminal behavior with criminal behavior. You don't fight against an unconstitutional action with further unconstitutional actions. Constitution already tells you what to do to those people to stop them from abusing you. And it's been a long struggle for blacks. Still not there yet, and now it's getting all eroded, going backwards again. But nonetheless, University of Utah is just filling the void of what Trump is doing. So yeah, blacks were further abused, as I've been hearing them lately complaining about LGBTQ who took over DEI from blacks. And it just made things worse and escalated to the extremism. So, we can no longer trust Health and Human Services, CDC, any of the health departments of our federal government. Again, in case you forgot, the Book of Mormon is not literal history. The church is cooing America, overthrowing it. 3rd Nephi, chapter 7, supposed to be in 2020. Oaks said, we're just changing it because it's going to be a test run now. Travis is suing us. He's on to us, so we got to run a test run. No, that's when you do it because Travis knows and he's leaking it. It's now in the public domain. Everybody knows about it if they go to the case and study it. Even though they'll see that it was Pharaoh said no, but they read my arguments and they'll see, oh wow, yeah, that did happen. Oh my God, that happened. Wow, how did he know? In advance of it happening. Bleeping hell, Bar. So, yeah. This is because all the health is supposed to be privatized within each state as a vassal state to Trump. The church is getting their kingdom back, but they don't want Trump as the King of Kings, Lord of Lords, because he's not going to let them do everything they want to do, which is not pay tribute to Trump. They want to be the King of Kings, Lord of Lords. And so thus the assassination of Trump is coming. But this distrust of the federal government and the federal agencies is also part of this whole bigger plot right here in the Book of Mormon. After talking about how they're going to murder Trump, they go on and say, now the people were divided one against another, And they did separate one another into tribal vassal states. Secret combinations overthrew the regulations of the government, destroying it. Secret combination. And again, Order of NEHOR. It will prove the utter destruction of the people. Here it is, practiced by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and Oaks got leaked. Sure enough, they're going to prove the utter destruction of the United States of America and, by extension, the whole world. Order of NEHOR. Mormons had this the whole time by the people who are guilty of it. This is how they deceived everybody. We now know. It happened. It's still happening, but it happened. It's now retrospect. So, yeah, Chicago, they're ready to kill the new ICE cops who are coming to invade and occupy. Remember Prohibition? Cop a day in Chicago died. So here we go. Chicago ain't going to tolerate no ICE. They're already prepped, ready to defend. So there's going to be civil war in Chicago coming. So, unless Trump tacos out. Taco. Taco, taco, taco. Yo quiero Taco Bell. So, psychology is still abusing Utahns and kids. Still going. We just got word of a brand new, great and spacious building of asylum for psychologists who are now crying, we need more psychologists educated at BYU to torture people and perform human experimentations with drugging that we can get kickbacks from Big Pharma for. And yet, more abuse reports from schools, from psychologists. In Harriman, they're doing behavioral control on mentally disabled kids. So yeah, imagine the little young woman this morning. She's not a girl, she was a woman. But yeah, I mean, so innocent. Bright countenance, cleaned, new clothes-ish. Because, I mean, just a beautiful little girl. And yet, this is what psychologists are abusing in the Harriman School. And so they're using what's called level systems. And this is a torture technique. It's a deprivation style, where they deprive you of stuff unless your behavior changes to what they want it to be. And it's supposed to be if your behavior is unruly, not that, you're not conforming to what they want you to do, like the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. You can't study the Book of Mormon, that goes against the living prophets of Jesus. We have to punish you. That kind. This is a torture technique that is being done in Harriman by the psychologists that are in Harriman telling the teachers to do it. The Order of NEHOR. So no, those psychologist teachers don't love your kids. They're not listening to you. They're placating you, mother. She doesn't get it. She got conned by them. They're listening. they're hearing what I'm saying, and they said they're going to make change. No, it's going to be worse for your kid. Your kid's now a target for further abuse. So they're just going to do it in ways that your kid won't tell you. Don't tell your mother, otherwise we're going to hurt her or you. So yeah, I already talked about Putin and an attempted assassination on the EU leader. And we'll save the AC/DC one for last, because that'll be a theme song in the description below. I'll just go to their channel and link you to all of their albums. Which I probably should just do the playlist or the releases page, because going over all of them may take too long, even though this video may allow me the time to do it. We're almost there. We just have this couple stuff left. It's a perfect ending. And so, like I warned Trump, like I'm telling you in advance, that Trump is going to be assassinated. Trump has to transfer all authority to the states so that Utah can get their kingdom back as Deseret 2.0. And then Trump is going to be assassinated. Another way that Trump is going to be assassinated is he's having everybody hate him. Everybody. And you know, he's used to that. But as a president, changing lives, destroying lives in this process of transition, hinge pointing, people are being forced in a situation: do I roll over and die, or do I defend myself? Chicago is going to stand up and defend themselves, or at least they're hyped up to do so. Whether they do so or not, or whether they get crushed, is yet to be seen this week. And so Trump has turned our allied nations into Axis. They're now our enemies. Canada, our enemy. Mexico, our enemy. Europe, our enemy. And so, if you're thinking that Trump, who wanted to be part of the Axis powers, is part of the Axis powers, no, they're meeting behind his back. They're meeting together without him. They're making decisions without Trump. Trump has been isolated, and thus isolated America from the rest of the world. Nobody wants anything to do with America anymore. And so the Axis powers are uniting and meeting together in the Legion of Doom. And the League of Justice is likewise meeting without Trump. And Putin is trying to assassinate them. He's already declared war. What are you waiting for? For him to murder you? How was that a war strategy? Dear God. And so, yeah, with Trump destroying everything, he's pissing people off. And so, yes, if Putin can do it to the EU leader, he can do it to Trump with a new plane that is now Air Force One, which has problems in it. And so, yeah, YouTube is not stopping their restrictions. They're still punishing me. You know, like I showed you, oh, this doesn't affect your channel whatsoever. It's just, you know, they, you know, yeah, no restrictions. And yet, they're back at it, just as they always have been. You know, if there's no restrictions, why are you denying me access to view videos? If you said this doesn't affect my channel and there are no restrictions, why are you restricting me from viewing YouTube? Why are you still cyber terrorizing me? Why are you still throttling my channel? Why are you still denying people access to my video content that should easily be having hundreds of thousands, if not millions of views per video? And instead, I was getting 50, and that still wasn't good enough, so you pulled that crap again so that you can punish me down to zeros? All because of the FIXER, David Todd Christofferson. So, in Matthew chapter 7, starting in verse 15, there's the test on how to identify a false prophet, a priestcrafter of the order of NEHOR, a Korahor. They have found that to protect the sheep of a religion, you blast AC/DC and the wolves flee. Back in black, baby. TNT, I'm dynamite. Who made who? Who made you? AC/DC fends off false prophets. And there you have it. Thank you very much. So yeah, I'm not wanting to continue with Apocalypse or 24 anymore. I'm thinking more of apocalyptical stuff. And so, yeah, anybody who's been following me knows that you need to be fearing and trembling. Like my bread dream, you should have feared and trembled for, and you didn't. David thought that he could attack me. He ain't a prophet. Seriously, dude. I am. And you think you're gonna mess with me? Get out of here. Notice, no cyber terrorism.